So if you're a black woman wanting to travel, wanting to live her very best life, and you're thinking of traveling to Egypt, hello beautifuls, my name is Giselle, co-host of the Strong Sunflowers podcast and founder of G is for Growth. And today we're gonna talk about if I felt safe as a black woman in Egypt. Let's get into it. So I feel like I need to get you the background story. If you guys don't follow me, make sure you're subscribing and all that good stuff. I'm originally from Cuba, so I have African descent, but I am Afro-Latina. So I do speak Spanish, I do also speak Portuguese. So I think that also plays an effect in here. A lot of the negative videos that I've been watching on TikTok or Instagram have been from African American women that have gone from America to Egypt. So I just wanted to clarify that. I've also traveled alone before. Last year I got to go to Dubai by myself, and I also went to the Maldives, and I freaking loved it. I also wanted to point out that I did go to Africa with a tour guide, in the sense of all my tours were already like pre-programmed for me, and I also had a driver. So to take all of that into consideration, that I feel safe in Egypt as a black woman. 100%. Oh my gosh, Egypt, the people were so nice, so kind. You can check a lot of my other vlogs from Egypt. I made a whole ton, from the tours that I went to the people that I talked to. Everybody was so kind. I feel like, again, when you're traveling, you're in other people's space. Egypt is a predominantly Muslim country. I feel like you have to know some sort of what you're getting yourself into before you go, and you also have to have an open mind, and like people can really sense your vibe. So sometimes, and I don't want to say this for everybody, but as a non-American, even though I'm an American, but I was born in Cuba, sometimes I look at Americans, I'm like, bruh, like your privilege is showing. Like your privilege, baby, is showing. And we're in America. Like I work in a restaurant. Like, oh my gosh, my eggs are overcooked. This is ridiculous. That kind of privilege, you know? So sometimes you go to another country, especially a country like Egypt or another third world country, anything like that, and your privilege shows like, baby, ×3, you know? So the people around you can really feel the vibe. And if your vibe is saying that you're better off, that you don't feel comfortable, that you, it's giving the ick, people are gonna feel that. People are gonna feel that. My suggestion would be that if you're traveling to whichever country you're traveling to, make sure that you Google that country, go on TikTok, go do your research, right? Go see people of that country, go learn a little bit of the language, be curious about their culture, about where they come from, because 9 out of 10, I promise you, they are so excited to teach new people that are genuinely wanting to learn about their culture. Teach them. They are more than willing to teach. I was there and I met people from like super white to super dark. Egypt is a melting pot of colors. It was amazing to learn about the culture. I have a video on this on my Nubian village video, but oh my gosh, we got to go to a Nubian village while we sailed down the Nile River. And back in the day, Egypt was kind of separated. Egypt was built out of like a lot of different colonies, I should say. So there were a lot of different kingdoms like in Egypt, kind of ruled by the Egyptians. So there was the Egyptians, there's also the Nubians that have their own little kingdom, but they were around that area as well. And Nubians, for the most part, they are darker skin. They have the very colorful villages. If you haven't checked out that video, go check it out so you can picture what I'm saying. But they have amazing culture of their own, apart from Egyptian culture, because they're still considered Egyptians, but to them, they're, yes, Egyptians, but they're Nubian, because there was just a different part of Egypt. These people are darker in color. They're like chocolate, like dark chocolate. And whenever I would go there, people would always be like, oh, my Nubian queen, because I am darker skin complexion. My Nubian queen. I loved it. Again, like I reiterate, people were so kind and so nice. Some negative things of Egypt. And again, if you have done your research to go to Egypt, you would know that they love to bargain. I personally hate bargaining. That's why once I did my research, I knew that I wanted to go with a tour guide because I did not want to deal with any of it. I just want the price that it is and baby, pay it and keep it pushing. You know, other people love to bargain like, okay, $10, $5, $6. That's not me, okay? And if you're not good at it, they will hassle you, baby. And they will like take advantage in a way. But then again, that's in all third world countries. They're just trying to make a buck. And baby, if you're gullible enough, you will get played. As well as they're very intense with it. So again, when you learn a little bit of the culture and the language, you can just put a stop to that. Like I remember I was walking, I don't give them no mind. I just mind my business. I did not come here to buy nothing, but they'll still try to come up to you and try to get you to buy things. So I would just be like, la'a, la'a. La'a in Arabic means nothing, no, no, la'a, no, no. Sometimes I would throw in la'a, shukran, la'a, shukran. No, thank you. No, thank you. If I felt like they were being too aggressive with it, I'll be like, la'a, shukran, halas. Halas. That means enough. Like enough. I don't want to buy anything. Get out of my face. Again, and they were still super respectful with that, you know, with me putting my boundaries. I've heard stories like on TikTok and about this girl getting on a cab and then they charging her something else when she got there and the guy not wanting her to get out of the cab, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. Egypt takes Uber. I did all my traveling when I was in Alexandria. I went through Uber. Again, it's a fixed rate. Just take me where I need to go. Tell me how much it is. Like, the more you don't want to deal with things like that, I would say just do things that are more controlled. Because it's easy to do. You know, it was easy to travel by Uber. It was easy to get a Lyft. It was easy to do things like that. I know that sometimes you're traveling on a budget and you want to do things like the locals, but sometimes you're not a local, baby. You are not a local, respectfully. And again, just knowing where you are in the world. So if you're a Black woman wanting to travel, wanting to live her very best life, and you're thinking of traveling to Egypt, baby, do it. Baby, do it. Just, I would recommend, again, a tour guide. But besides that, Egypt is safe. Egypt is safe for everybody. The Egyptians are so welcoming. They want you to come to Egypt. They want you to see and learn about their culture, about Ramses II, about Cleopatra the 7th. That's the most popular Cleopatra. I had no idea that there were 7 of them. You know, like so many like history in Egypt that it's a 10 out of 10 for me, something that you really need to see. If you want any more tips about Egypt, I have a whole bunch of videos and vlogs from my experience. I went to Hurghada. I was there for like about 16 days. I got to see all over. I went to Alexandria. I went to Cairo. I went to Aswan, where I went to the Nubian village. I went down the Nile River on a Nile cruise. I also went to Hurghada, the Red Sea. I went scuba diving. All of the things. I did all the things. I made videos of those. Go check them out. But as a traveler, I've always wanted to go to Egypt, and I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I got to see the pyramids, and I felt 100% safe doing it. Even, oh my gosh, you guys need to go see that video. But even when I was in a freaking, you know, when they talk about those Airbnbs that you get the pyramid views in the background, we got there, mind you, I got there like at 4 a.m. and I had a driver and everything. So everything was like already set. But oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of like a regular schmegular town. That's okay. So if you've never been to Egypt, the pyramids are literally like on the outskirts of town. Like there's city and then there's pyramids and desert. Like it's right there, and everybody has a view of the pyramids, literally, that lives there. And a lot of these Airbnbs that are next to the pyramids are just like apartments that people live, and then people rent out their rooms, and a lot of them are under construction. A lot of them are like a little bit falling apart on the outside. It looks a little sketch. It's gonna look a little ghetto. It's gonna look a little, it's giving poverty. But it's okay. It's okay because you get the views. And again, know where you are, okay? Egypt is a third world country in that sense. And I still felt safe. And it was 4 in the morning. I was surrounded by all men. I was the only woman there. My driver was a man. I got greeted by 2 other men. But they made me feel safe and made me feel welcome. And yeah, I mean, the first day I was still, you know, Scorpio in me, I was still on my toes. But besides that, I had a great, amazing experience. I had no troubles. And I just wanted to share my positive view on Egypt as a black woman, because at the end of the day, even though if I'm an Afro-Latina, I'm still black, baby. That's the first thing someone sees. I'm black. And yes, I think some people give Egypt a bad rep, but if done correctly, like any other country, you can have a good time. I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.